My net exam is over, and right now I'm just waiting for the results. So that day I went to give my net exam and saw many students. I saw the students from my college, my university, my college, and so many of them. I wasn't expecting so many students from my university to go there, but I saw Yakili, I saw there was another guy named August, and some other girls whose name I'm not going to mention. Yeah, and then went there, and that guy, there was a security guy who told me to lift my hands up like a scarecrow, and told me, and with his machine he searched for some metal objects, some highly scientific bomb and something, but he found nothing, and he let me enter the arena or the building, you can say. Then I went to the building. I was informed that my lab number is lab number 1, and then I went to the lab number 1, and there was a girl, and she told me to do my registration first. Okay, so for registration, what she did was that she took a picture of my face to check my eye, if my eye matches with the person who is giving the exam. Then she told me to give my thumb impression. Then I gave my right thumb impression, and then she told my right thumb impression didn't match, so she told me to give my left hand thumb impression. Okay, that too didn't match, and it was because my biometric was unlocked. Okay, I locked my biometric, so that thing happened. It wasn't matching. And then she asked me about my name, my date of birth. I told my name is Tribhuvan Narayan Bhattacharjee, and my date of birth is 25th July 2003. Everything was okay, but because my biometric was locked, I was told to go to another room. So another room I went, and then there was a guy who told me what happened. I told that my biometric was locked, and he gave me a form. In the form, it was a form for those students who actually committed unfair means, like written something in something, or brought some metal objects, or did something unfair. So there was an undertaking type of form, and the person told me to fill up the form, and I filled it up and write my name, my father's name, and he wrote that biometric is locked, and the application name also. And then he took the form and took all the thumb impressions of all my fingers from right hand to left hand, all of them. And when it was like 8:45 or close to 9, I was allowed to sit in the sit before the computer screen and give my exam. So this is what happened. Actually, I was seen as a suspect because I don't know why it happens. It always, I am used to these things because it happens all the times. When I give exams or when I give anything, something is going to be happening. Okay, yeah. So then I gave my exam. So there were so many questions, like 150 questions. In general paper there was 50 questions, and I saw so many questions, and I started to type. Okay, so no, it was not like typing. You have to just click and then submit and next. Okay, then the next will appear. So first few questions, especially first 1 to 5 questions, were maths questions related to mathematics, and then the question is from different things, like from computer there were questions like qualitative and case study, etc. There were questions from router, switch, like that. So there were questions from computer, there were questions from geography, etc. Like there were questions like when the Wildlife Protection Act was established, and when the Forest Development Project, Water Conservation Act, and it was told that to arrange them in ascending order. So no, for those who are thinking that answering MCQs is very simple, no, it's not very simple, because it's not direct. Okay, the questions will be like you have to answer it in a very critical. Then there are comprehensions, which is very easy. Actually, there were 3 comprehensions. First comprehension was about some guy who went to a cave and saw some lights. So it was the first comprehension, and it was easy. All the questions that came, there was line by line answers if you read the comprehension properly. Then there was another comprehension which was basically a poem about a girl, and that girl used to reject all her lovers, and she rejected all her lovers, and later she repented for her actions. Okay, so there were questions too, like why she did that. There are options like because she has too much pride and stuff like that. And there was the last comprehension, which was like 95 to 100. That was the time period. That was the time when the question comes. So the last comprehension was about a man's reputation, and like how a man's reputation can be at risk if someone spreads false rumor, etc. So these are three comprehensions, and you can actually get three comprehensions have like 5 5 5 5. So 5 5 5 into 2 is equal to 15 into 2 is equal to 30. So you can actually get 30 marks like that, because these comprehensions are actually easy as compared to the rest. Then about the questions come from everything, as I said, from geography to computer to mathematics to basic knowledge. There were questions from teaching also, like how to assess something, like if you are a teacher, what should you be assessing first of a student. And there were questions from your research thesis too, like in a research thesis what comes first, like does the bibliography comes first? Obviously it doesn't come first. Does the statement of purpose comes first? Introduction comes first? uh, Literature review comes first? These were the options about. Yeah, it was quite easy. Then there were questions from all of our literature. It was not that so easy. There were questions like in Duchess of Malfi, who are the characters and who are not the characters. Okay, these are some type of questions. There were questions from GB Shaw's Armstrong the Man, I guess, and like there are characters like Cardinal Ferdinand in the options, and you have to detect who was not included. Okay, all in all it was good. And also there was one type of questions in which they give two options, option A and option B, and the MCQ comes like what option A is correct and option B is the incorrect explanation of option A. Number two option comes that option A is correct and option B is the correct explanation of option A. Number 3 is option A is correct, option B is incorrect. Number 4 is option A is incorrect, option B is correct. So these are the type of MCQs that comes, and it's very tough to answer. But still, if you have some kind of brain, you can actually detect. So what the strategy I did? Okay, so I did something like I can actually get some good marks in the comprehensions. I don't know about the rest, but the things that you should do is you should be sure about that this option cannot be. Okay, I mean, like how to make you understand. Okay, so there are other MCQs like some guy wrote about Orissa in Jagannath temple or something like that, and I answered Jayantra Mahapatra. There was another option like Keki and Darwala something. There were other some critical questions too, but yeah, that's all I can actually recall right now. Because I didn't saw the question after the exam ended. So I'm just telling all these things from my memory, whatever I gathered after giving the exam. And yeah, I also chanted the name of Sri Ram, Sri Krishna, Jai Ganesh in the exam hall when I was typing, and I have some 35 seconds or 2 minutes left, and the duration of the exam is 180 minutes, and 180 minutes, and you are given that is 3 hours you are given, and that's all actually. That's all I got to say. Thank you so much for watching. I wish you all the best. Let's see who cracks the NET exam.